You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Shahs of Sunset After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Shahs of Sunset After Show.
Diamonds are Asa's best friend.
She's hoping so in this episode. Hello, everyone. We are here for the Shahs of Sunset after show for season 3, episode 2. These people are not your friends. My name is Lyndsey Wegner, and here with me tonight,
I am Michelle Renee. Hi, guys.
hello. So we're kind of going to be recapping tonight this episode and the first episode, which was Only Guilty Men Bring Flowers, since the season just started and kind of swapping nights now, Tuesday nights to Sunday nights. But let's talk about kind of the relationships that they have this season. We're coming off of last year with MJ and Reza being best friends and literally being broken apart
Yes.
by this newcomer, the beautiful, gorgeous Lilly. And I think we're looking to kind of mend some fences this season with all the relationships between Gigi and Asa, who had a lot of beef last year. I think they got into a physical altercation at one point last year.
At the pool.
At the pool, yes. And even Gigi and MJ had some tension between the two of them, with MJ not inviting her to her birthday party and Gigi being seriously hurt by that. But Gigi was going through, I think, a lot of stuff last season because she was an angrier person. You know, so hopefully we can everyone can kind of go into their flow and do their own thing, but in a more positive way this season. And it seems like that's going to happen, but there's always going to be tension. And this year, I have a feeling it's going to be centered around MJ and Lilly and the fact that this whole birthday party
started with a bang. And I think the thing with reality television a lot of times is people act one way, and then based off what the fans say to them via social media and based off that feedback, they realize maybe I shouldn't have done that, maybe I shouldn't have said this, maybe I shouldn't have been mean to this person. And so that's what I think maybe has happened to some of these cast members, that they got, especially Reza, this is more so directed at him, but I think that he probably got a lot of negative attention for the way he treated MJ last year. So he's probably trying to correct that. And that's why he's trying to, I definitely like it, because I think that he was very mean to her last year, especially someone that was at one point in time your best friend.
Business partners, everything. So I hope that the apology that he did last week with the flowers and everything was genuine and isn't just coming from a place of feeling like, well, I have to mend fences on TV to make myself look better. I really, really hope that it's a genuine apology to her, because she certainly deserves it. I mean, everyone makes mistakes, but the way he treated her, especially when they were on vacation, with the pills and everything, it was just really bad and difficult to watch.
And to attack her and call her out about her past and the whole robbing of the bank and her being 40 and just nasty. Just
poor behavior. So we kind of now are centering on making sure that MJ and Gigi are back on a good step. And it seems like that happens this episode, because we found out in the first episode that Gigi is spending a lot more time with her sister. They've worked on their relationship because Gigi's sister Layla is going through a divorce. We found out why this episode that is. It's because I guess she was gone for a couple weeks.
2 days. I thought she said
was
2
it 2
nights.
days? Was it 2 days or 2 weeks? 2 days?
2 something.
2 something. And her daughter comes up to her and says, I want to have a play date with Cece.
Yeah. And Cece's the mistress.
And Cece's the mistress, so, and apparently she's got cameras all over the house. And she sees the mistress and her husband, and he, of course, denies it. But she's like, I've got proof right here that you did this. I can't even imagine. So he moves out. He's clearly with this girl. They're moving out. This is a big thing. MJ's going to try and help Layla sell the house so that she doesn't have to be there anymore with her daughter Jordan and then their son, because Jordan's, I guess, going to school in the next month or so. So, I mean, I can't even imagine having to go through that in such a quick turnaround. But it seems great that Gigi is being there for her and being supportive of her. And something you definitely do as sisters, you kind of come together like that.
Yeah. And I think especially when you're faced with tough times, it a lot of times brings people closer together. And it's kind of unfortunate that something so drastic like a divorce has to happen. But in the end, it is great that they're working on their relationship and that they're closer, because last season we saw her threatening to stab her and stuff while she was pregnant. So anything is definitely better than that. But yeah, I mean, I feel bad for her sister just because, no one wants to get cheated on. And what was really sad to me is whenever the comment was made that the little girl makes the wish in the fountain or whatever, I want my family to be back together. And the ex-husband, just his give a damn is busted. He's like, well, that's not going to happen. He doesn't even try to pacify his daughter and say, okay, sweetheart. It's like, nope, not going to happen.
And you don't even need to lie to your daughter, but to at least make it easier on her and try and find a way for her to understand. Obviously had this conversation with his ex and say, how are we going to approach this situation when this happens? Because we know it's going to happen. She is, 4 or 5 years old. She realizes these things. The kids are smarter than we all think that they are. They realize these little things, like she said, we want to have a play date.
Yeah.
They realize these
Daddy
things.
has a girlfriend.
So you have to be so aware and ready to have that conversation. And obviously the dad, you're right. He just didn't care. Obviously, which is just unfortunate. I didn't know how long they were together. I guess I didn't realize that they'd been married for as long as they were. I thought the baby... Did we see Jordan in the last season? I feel like we didn't. So I thought that it was just this baby and that she was just like a newlywed.
Yeah.
So this must be a new thing for them to include their daughter on camera, which would then, obviously be more difficult knowing it's been a years long marriage versus just a newly married 1 or 2 year couple. It's definitely something more difficult to go through. But we see more this episode of Gigi playing both sides. So she wants to, reconnect with MJ after last season, and MJ disinviting her to her birthday party because Gigi wasn't getting along with anyone, and she was threatening and she was fighting everybody, and MJ did kind of want to keep the peace. And Gigi was just so angry last season. So it's good to see them kind of working through this together and Gigi and MJ becoming closer friends. But Gigi is also hanging out with the svelte Miss Lilly shopping size 23 jeans, teeny tiny, and having a conversation about what happened last episode with the party. Lilly sends out the invites to, she mentioned in this episode, 120 people. It was a sit-down dinner. MJ was supposed to be sitting at her table, is what MJ kept saying to Gigi, because now Gigi's had this conversation with MJ and also with Lilly, and she didn't RSVP. I get why she didn't. They're not friends. They're not very close. But she kind of, Reza says, well, you should have invited MJ. Everyone else is going to be there. You should have. And Lily's like, I did. She never RSVP'd. So he takes, this is the first time he says this to Lilly in the episode. This is the first time I've talked to her. I'm making amends with her just in order to let her know that she hasn't, that if she shows up to your party, you're not going to let her in. And she deserves to know that.
Yeah.
So he breaks the silence with MJ to tell her this. And MJ sends Gigi the text saying, hey, I'd like to come to the party. And Lilly says, no, you can't come.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's my place to really have an opinion on this, but I am on the after show, so I guess that's why I'm here. But I'm team MJ all the way, but also for a sit-down dinner, I don't think it's as easy as okay, fine, then you can come in. It's like, it was a formal, nice dinner. It's not like you can pull up a folding chair and scoot over a little bit and pull up a paper plate and chow down. You know? So, I mean, taking that into consideration, I understand why it's not as easy as like, okay, let her come in when she didn't follow the rules to RSVP. If she knew that she would maybe even like to come. Maybe she didn't know if she was going to come for sure. Maybe she was a little bit on the fence about it. She should have just RSVP'd yes anyway, or maybe just so her spot was reserved. But after all is said and done and there's no spot for you, it's kind of too late at that point.
There's not much you can do, but we're also in the reality world where she could
drama.
have very easily, if she wanted to, she would have made room.
Yeah.
And Lily pointed out in this episode, MJ is not her friend, so she doesn't need to make room, because I guess what they came to at the end of the conclusion was that MJ asked Lily, have you followed up with anyone else that hasn't RSVP'd? And she said, yeah, but you're not my friend.
Yeah. Well, if she's not her friend, then why is she invited to the party?
Well, yeah, I guess, but they're trying to invite everyone and have everyone together, and everyone's saying, wow, the party would have been so much more fun with MJ there, and Reza is actually taking MJ's side. Mike is agreeing, saying the party would have been more fun, and Gigi's taking Lily's side. And Gigi and MJ are just working on their relationship. So I think for MJ to see that was probably really difficult, because MJ makes a great point. These were her friends first. I know that's such a is it a lame argument to say that?
It's kind of like
you're my friend.
Juvenile,
it sounds like it's very, very childish. These were my friends first. At the same time, they were. Lily kind of just comes in and swoops in, and maybe things aren't all hunky-dory. Maybe there really are some issues and stuff, and they jumped the gun a little bit too much, letting her in so quickly, so close to everybody. But I definitely feel for MJ and seeing Gigi take Lily's side at the party, and Asa sat there and didn't say anything, and everyone else was pretty much really quiet and kind of let them hash it out. And Lily had a big issue with the fact that nobody said anything. No one was standing up for her. And I mean, what would you do if you were at a party where a fight kind of broke out between two people? What, are you gonna like jump in the middle? Like,
I mean, I think it just depends on who the fight, like who the two people in the fight are, like what they're fighting about, the atmosphere of the party. And in this instance, I think it's best that everyone just kind of let them figure it out themselves. Like, they're two adults, and it's really no one else's business. Like, it's not like they were on some group trip and someone's actions affected the whole group and how good or bad a time the whole group had. It wasn't one of those situations. No one's life was really negatively or positively affected, you know, by what went down at the birthday party. So I think that in this instance, it's best for them to just, you know, deal with it themselves. I will say, though, that I do not like, this is kind of going back a step, but I don't like that Gigi is playing both sides of the fence.
Me either.
Not that she can't be friends with both of them, because I think she can, but I think the problem comes in where she's trying to like
choose sides.
Yeah,
in front
and when
of each other.
And when she's with one, it's, you know, this, and when she's with another, it's that. If you're going to be friends with two people that aren't friends, I think you should make an effort but make an effort to make things better between them. And I don't think that we see Gigi necessarily doing that. We just see her kind of having two separate relationships with the two of them. And inevitably, when there is a situation where they come together and there's an issue, she's going to be stuck in the middle instead of her trying to play the peacemaker, and then she wouldn't be caught in the middle. You know?
I agree with that. And I would totally have probably just sat there and let them hash it out on their own. Or because in Gigi's case, this was her party she was throwing for everyone to meet her new boyfriend, Sean, and to kind of take Layla out and get her out on the town and kind of take her mind off of things. But this is her party. Say, hey guys, not the place right now. This is my party. Let's everyone have a good time. If you guys want to talk about this, let's get everyone together and get coffee or get lunch or something. But let's do this in a more controlled environment so that we're not in front of 15 random people at this dinner table that don't know of a situation, that have to listen to this like bickering. And I know that this is
it's a reality
TV.
Show, yeah.
So this is they love this. They thrive on this. But I mean, I can't imagine how. When I see a couple fighting when I'm out to dinner, it makes me uncomfortable. Like, so can you imagine a group of people just sitting at a table arguing? I probably would leave the restaurant. I'd walk out.
Yeah.
So to stay out of it was, I think, the best decision for everyone, and to just kind of like try and calm things down, and for Reza to jump in, or for Mike to jump in and say, we would have liked MJ to be at the party. He's not attacking Lily. He's just making a point.
Yeah.
But Lily got up and left because they're all her friends. They're not her friends anyway, so she just left the party. I will admit, the 4 dresses or 5 dresses, I guess, she ended up having for her birthday party, all beautiful. But my first, the first dress she wore was my absolute favorite. I'm a huge fan of Michael Costello from Project Runway. I have a friend that's a producer on the show, so I've watched kind of his career for a long time, and he just, I mean, I guess he's one of her go-to designers and always makes her look stunning and fabulous. Like, to have a Michael Costello dress is that's my dream.
Yeah, I think I've seen her on Instagram before, like, you know, with some of his creations on and, you know, mentioning him there. So, I mean, five dresses, though, I think it's a bit much.
I've slowly come to the conclusion that 2 dresses for a wedding has somehow now become okay. To have a ceremony dress and to have a reception dress. In my mind, it's only because I live in Los Angeles. I'm from Wisconsin. We would never think of doing that. You pull your train up and hook it to whatever the little bustle thing was, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
So I've somehow come to the conclusion that 2 dresses at a wedding.
It's fine. It's
Sure,
normal.
if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. 5 dresses for a birthday party?
5 dresses for a birthday party, that's what, how long? Like 5 hours
5,
maybe?
6 hours.
You're changing more than, because obviously, like, you know.
You know she's doing her hair and makeup each time to
and
fix
each
that.
time, freshening up. It's like you're spending more time changing than you are enjoying the party. And it's like she's missing
Missing
I don't know,
bits and
she's
pieces of it.
missing the whole point of the party is to celebrate her and her birthday, and instead she wants to get, you know, good pictures in these fabulous dresses. I think she should have purchased the dresses. That's fine, and wear them just some other occasion. She goes out to fabulous events all the time. Why do you need to cram them all into one night?
And I would even get the 2 dresses. Start at the beginning of the night when you're taking pictures, having dinner, all that stuff, and then you want to move into a fun little cute dress while you've got like dancing and partying and stuff like that. Yeah, great. But the 5 dresses was a little
It's
bit
too much.
little
Even
bit
for
crazy.
Lily, and she's over the top and fabulous, but for her it was even.
It was a little bit too much. I agree. So let's talk about Asa and her diamond water that's coming back. The pop priestess we have coming back.
I just don't know if to me it's, do you watch Real Housewives of New Jersey by any chance?
Yes, I do.
Blackwater. You
Yes,
know what that is.
with the Manzos.
Yes. I know that reality television is a great platform for people to launch things, but just because you're on a reality television show does not mean that this genius idea you had is going to work for the public. And I think, like Blackwater, Diamond Water is going to be another one of those things that, like, while it may work for Asa, I don't think it's going to be a good consumer product. I don't see people rushing out to buy Diamond Water.
I don't either. And the thing that she claimed in this episode was that she's got 300,000 units on order, waiting to go out.
That are pre-ordered.
That are pre-ordered, ready to go out. And she's waiting now because the problem is the cap on the bottle is going to be an extra cost for her. And so she's incurring all these extra costs because the way the bottle is built, but that's her vision. And I get that. If you have a specific vision for something and you're also given a budget and the budget keeps getting changed, I would be frustrated too. Absolutely 100%. If I was quoted at a specific price and knew, you know, oh, 50,000 here or 30,000 there, or 120,000 here, they keep adding to this. Well, of course you're going to be upset and you want your vision to happen. And she's definitely, I understand her perspective. I just don't know how well it's actually going to do in the real marketplace. I mean, like that's saying somebody going into a grocery store, they're going to pick Diamond Water over
I'm going to pick the Arrowhead bottle of water that's like $1 for like 50 ounces. That's what I'm going to pick personally. And I don't.
The healing.
I mean, I think that people would pay for the healing powers, but I think it's going to be very subjective as to whether or not those healing powers really exist. I don't think people are going to shell out the money for a bottle of water that's the same as any other bottle of water you're going to
think we're going to have to see reviews from real people and normal people and not this community of people that will purchase it just because it's her.
Diamond Water by Asa.
Exactly. So I think if people maybe do see some real, reviews of it and that it really does work, then maybe.
Well, speaking of reviews, head over to iTunes and rate and comment on the Shahs of Sunset AfterBuzz TV After Show. You can also check out After Show podcasts for your favorite television shows. You mentioned another show that you're on.
I do Supernatural. What other ones are you on?
I do Vanderpump Rules, Real Husbands of Hollywood, Heart of Dixie, Real Housewives of Miami. That's coming to an end, though, this week. But yeah, we have lots of shows for you guys to check out. Always feel free to rate and comment and give us your feedback on our after show.
We want to hear what you guys think. So let us know what we can do better, and we will make you happy.
And your opinion on the show. Would you buy a bottle of Diamond Water? Do you think Gigi's playing the fence? All of that.
Let us know.
Yeah.
We want to know. So we have the Mike and Reza relationship kind of coming back into play. Reza has now recently moved in with his boyfriend Adam, and they're facing challenges of moving in together. As anyone that moves in with somebody is, you get used to them. And I like the fact that Reza said his boyfriend wanted to be able to pay for the apartment and pay bills as well. And I thought that was really cool. And Reza's like, I got the smallest apartment that I could literally handle. It's too small, but it's the smallest one he can handle. But I think it's really, really a good thing to see them working together to be able to afford this apartment together and do it as a team versus somebody taking care of the other person, because that normally doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And so I think it's good that Reza's actually being genuine in this relationship with Adam, and they figured that out last season.
Yeah. And I mean, especially for Reza, I can only imagine that him being, successful in Beverly Hills, number one, and number two, now on a reality television show, that he's probably encountered some shady characters in the past that probably just wanted to use him and nickel and dime him for all he had. So I think it is good, like you say, that his boyfriend Adam is making an effort, and even though he might not have as much money as Reza, he's willing to, do what he can to make this relationship work. I think that speaks volumes about his character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that. And it's also interesting now to see, we see Reza out selling a condo at the beginning of the episode, and Mike kind of goofing off, making prank phone calls to his brother and stuff. And he wants to learn the business, and I guess Reza hasn't been around, according to Mike, to teach him the business, and he's not making the sales. At the same time, Reza's not going to give Mike his clients. You're not going to share your clients. Even if you've got a business part, you're not going to show them. You still have to find your own clients on your own. I think it would be interesting to see if MJ and Reza kind of come back together and become business partners, because it did seem like that relationship did work.
Yeah.
For as long as it did, they were business partners for quite some time. That's why they've been friends for all these years. So it would be neat to see them kind of get back together and work on that. And Mike and Asa are as close as ever, which is always, I feel like Mike is definitely the peacekeeper in the group.
Yes, definitely.
He always is the one making the phone calls, making sure everyone's getting along, not really trying to take sides, just be an honest person.
The voice of reason, yeah.
The voice of reason.
Do you think that Mike and MJ might have a business relationship or no? Because, I mean, she could teach him real estate as well.
Oh, I like that idea. I think at the beginning of this episode, they open with the dogs and stuff. We won't go into much detail about
that was weird.
A little strange. But she said he's there for her whenever she needs a good man around. And so it looks like he's kind of replacing Reza's role in their relationship. I don't know if Reza would have done that anyway. But it seems that maybe Mike is replacing Reza as one of a closer friend of hers. So I could definitely see a business relationship between them flourish.
Maybe they can all three do like a
little
Shahs of Sunset.
Real
estate, yeah.
Real estate, yeah, definitely. And we also saw this episode that Mike and Layla kind of hooked up back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't know that, because obviously we saw, I think in the first season, that Mike and Gigi had that chemistry between the two of them.
Well, I think they mentioned it in the first season, actually, that's how that's how Gigi had met Mike, was because he used to date her sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
But nothing ever happened between the two of them.
No.
And now we've got Gigi and Sean, her new boyfriend, and she, I guess.
But she takes breaks from him, though, because apparently she hooked up with someone else at Lily's party.
She hooked up with Cheyenne at Lily's party. And I guess they were off at the time, but she said that was her boyfriend.
A 2-day break?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, and we know Gigi, she does jump from guy to guy, and I feel like the right person will settle her down. That's just, I think, the way that some,
women
as a Carrie from Sex and the City quote, some women aren't meant to be tamed.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the rest of it. Darn it. But a good quote. Some women are not meant to be tamed.
Yeah.
And at this point, until she finds somebody that's perfect for her, she doesn't need to be. She can go out and have fun and have a good time. It seems like she does like this guy. She's obviously bringing him around her friends, throwing this dinner for her friends to meet him, is interested in him, jokes about wanting to have his babies because they'd make beautiful children. So we'll kind of see, I think, how she's looking for a commitment from him.
Where's Omid?
Yeah, where's he? Honestly,
I liked Omid.
I liked him too. I really liked him. I don't know what happened. Maybe he got a little too big for his britches last year after being on the show and had
Maybe.
some ladies all over him. But I liked
I would be all
them.
over him. He was cute.
He was very, very good looking. Very, very good looking and handsome. But I was definitely, I thought that he'd be back this season, so I'm definitely a little disappointed about that. But maybe this Sean guy will be good for her. I guess we'll have to.
Yeah, and I mean, they started because MJ and her man have since broken up, but
Her young
little
buck,
Drake
right?
lookalike, yeah. But I mean, I remember last season whenever it was towards the end of the show, the end of the season, and this Sean guy came out, and a lot of people were saying it might be a publicity stunt, and that this guy like seemed fake, and that it was just like weird. And so for them to still be together, I think that that's, really remarkable.
That is then.
So-
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing that Omid's not around. We don't know what happened with Omid. It could have been a similar thing to the Layla thing.
Yeah, so
We don't quite
Guess we'll
know.
see.
Guess we'll find out what's going on. So let's what do you think is gonna, should we talk about what's gonna happen next week? Make some predictions?
some predictions, yeah, sure.
All right. Let's make some predictions.
And now,
Do I have any?
your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I predict, I don't know about next week, but I just feel like as the season, goes on, that Asa is not going to always be as quiet, that she's going to get more vocal and probably start, throwing shade MJ's way.
She's definitely been a little bit more reserved, which is kind of nice because I don't want to see her fighting with everyone. If she, is this pop priestess and preaches the diamond water and the love and all that, the healing in the mind and the body, she should be a little bit more even keel and not want to get involved in the drama. So it's kind of nice to see her stepping outside of that, but she is such a big personality that she's definitely going to be getting involved and having an opinion and either protecting people. And I don't think she likes Lily. I think she gets along with Lily. I don't think she really likes Lily. I don't think they have really anything in common at all.
They don't. And it seems like everything that Asa tries to oppose, Lily is. Asa tries to do the whole, like, I am a natural woman and this is my body and I'm proud of it. And Lily is like 100 pounds soaking wet with fake boobs and fake hair. And I mean, Lily's kind of superficial and not kind of, but she's superficial and, materialistic. And Asa's like, peace and love and diamond water. It just like,
It doesn't
I think
work.
they get along, but the fundamentals of their friendship are not there.
I can't see an explosion between the two of them because I don't feel like there's enough content. I just don't feel like there's enough history or beef between them to have a fight. But I feel like they're definitely going to end up taking sides because in the previews we've seen so far, we see that Gigi and MJ are going to have a blowout. I do not know what it's going to be, but considering Gigi kept making kind of digs at MJ to Lily, or even at the party kind of siding with Lily, and then hearing her say, well, you disinvited me from your birthday party, and I'm going to hold that against you until I'm ready. That was a friend betrayal, and I will not forget that. Like, seeing how clearly that bothers her, I mean, that's something that as a friend you either work through, you talk through, and you work through. And the fact that she's not even trying to work through that with her, I just feel like that's just bad. So I feel like I don't know when that's going to happen, but that eruption between the two of them is going to be nuts. I hope MJ and Reza can fuse this friendship back together, and I think he's slowly seeing what Lily is all about. And I think we're going to have that realization in him kind of pulling away from her. And I hope to see Jess and Mike, little engagement or something. I don't know if they're engaged in real life yet or if we're even going to see that, but
I can definitely see
seems
it.
like they're becoming much more serious. He's bringing her around his family and stuff. And I think that's going to be happening soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're all at the age, when we look at the show, I initially think, oh, these kids are like in their 30s, but like they're in their 40s and like real adults. Like it's time for them to start making steps into like,
Especially
parenthood and marriage and stuff like that.
Since they're all so family related, and you know that in their culture they want babies, they want children and stuff, so that we see the kind of overbearingness from MJ's mom, and Asa is able to completely tell her parents no, like you guys are fine, and kind of is able to, her parents are a little bit more relaxed and easygoing. Still wanting her to, didn't they want her to be a doctor? Didn't we find that out last
Yeah.
season?
Yeah.
But a little bit more easygoing than MJ's mom is. But yeah, you're right. They're getting to a point in their lives where, yeah, this is the time you settle down, you make those decisions, and no, you're not in your 30s, which are the new 20s anymore. You're an adult.
Yeah. Shahs of Sunset is not going to be around forever, so
No.
get your family life together.
All right, and I have a little bit of gossip
All right.
and news. I check out Lily Galici's blog.
TV News.
And where's her blog?
Her blog, I think it's lilygaliciblog.com
Okay.
or something like that. I'm sorry, guys, I don't know. I've been reading it actually for the past couple years just because I'm fascinated by her. I'm just literally fascinated by her. But she announced on her blog today that her line of clip-in hair extensions, Lily Hair by Balami, is available. She says that she says that's her secret, and she even included a hair garment bag. It's like an actual garment bag holding your hair so it's easier to travel. And I'm wondering, I know that she also on her blog sells eyelashes and has all sorts of different kinds. So I'm wondering if any of you viewers out there have gotten in any of the eyelashes, how they work, how they look. If you have, let us know. We want to know. And that's what I've got for news this week.
All right. We should get some of those lashes and
We
wear
should
them
try them
next-
out and
next
let you
time.
guys know
Yeah.
our reviews.
Or Lily can just send us 2 pair
Some.
for
Yeah,
free.
let us-
Okay.
yeah. She can demonstrate. We need her here so she can show us. All right. Well, I think that
That just sums it up. Where can we find you in the meantime? Where can
in the
we find me?
meantime, you guys can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Lyndsey Wegner, on my blog, lyndsey-wegner.blogspot.com, and on Tuesdays for Supernatural. And where can they find you, my dear?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Michelle Renee LA.
Fabulous. Well, thank you guys. That about wraps us up here tonight, and we'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.